Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. So here I am with my tier list, and this time you guys nominated the ultimate hated characters, and I'm going to be making a tier list out of that. So before we begin, I would like to say something, which is there's quite a few of these characters who I don't know, not quite a few, but a few of them. I'm going to list them at the beginning because I've not included them here because I've not watched the show. For example, Revolutionary Girl Utena Anthy's brother, Juri's ex-crush, and Saonji. I've not watched the show, so that's why I've not included this. Fruits Basket, Akito and her mother, Kyo's father, Yuki's mother, and Ren's parents. I've not watched Fruits Basket as well. I did plan on watching it, but I didn't get the time. I'm talking about the remake. I've heard the remake is really good. Obviously, the older, like the one which came before the original one, was also quite good. But yeah, I've not gotten enough time to watch it. Who else? Oran High School Host Club. I've not watched it, which must be surprising because it's one of the most popular shows. Oran High School Host Club, Tamaki's grandmother. I've not watched it, so I've not included it. Who else? Frill from Wonder Egg Priority. Now, here's the thing about Frill. I have watched Wonder Egg Priority, but I don't know why, but I barely remember anything about the show. And it's not even that old, so I don't know why I forgot everything. So I kind of went, tried to find out more about this character if my memory it comes back, but nothing came back. So even though I've watched the show, I barely remember anything, so I've not included her as well. Who else? Is there anyone else? No, these are the ones. These are the only ones who either I've not watched or I forgot. So there you go. These are excluded, and all the other show characters that are here that you can see on the screen are characters that you guys have nominated. A few of them, I'll keep my phone at my hand because a few of them I forgot their names, but I do remember them. That's why I do kind of cross check. And I've added two characters in here. One character is mine from Shield Hero. Another character is this guy. I don't remember his name, but this military guy from Assassination Classroom, if you remember him. So these two I've included, and all the others are characters that you have chosen. So now, before we begin, there are 4 tiers. The first tier is Ultimate Filth. Now here's the thing. The character that I hate the most will be on the top. The topmost character will be there. That means the higher we go, that character I hate the most. That's how it's going to be. So the lower the characters are, they're not that much hated by me. So the top position, Ultimate Filth. The next one, Trash. Third one is Redeemable, which is something that I want you guys to listen at the beginning what I mean about this. Redeemable means characters who are definitely bad, but there is a chance they might, or there's a chance they are already changing. That's why redeemable. They have done bad things, but they are changing, and that type of a thing. And the severity of the things that they did are not that much as the ones on above them. So that's why redeemable. The fourth one is not as bad, where they're misunderstood, or maybe if you think about them in a different way, you can see them in a new light. That type of a character. So yeah, that's the 4 tiers. So yeah, let us begin. All right, so the first one is, obviously everyone knows him, Show Tucker. And yeah, he definitely is on top. Ultimate Filth, the topmost tier. So I'm pretty sure everyone knows about him. And yeah, this guy is probably, and a few others are in this list, are probably the most famous characters who people hate. And they're well deserving of it. For obviously Show Tucker, every one of us know what he did. The whole thing with Nina Tucker, I think that was his kid's name, I think so, yeah. And the dog, So the thing about this guy is, the worst thing about this guy is that he is the things that he did comes from, it's probably he's definitely a psychopath, number one. He not only what he did to his child. Not only that, if you remember, he also says that he also did this, and it is implied that he did the same thing to his wife as well. So basically, this guy is one of those characters who acts as if they are very nice. They're very, what can I say? They're very, kind-hearted, good character. Like timid, that type of a character. But yeah, in their inside, they're completely psychos. So one thing that I kind of remember when I watched Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, which I've not seen people talk about much, is there's a question that came into my mind when I watched this episode, that is he like a crazy person? Like crazy, I mean completely crazy, like he doesn't have any kind of a semblance of sanity. He doesn't realize what he's doing, that's why, because of his insanity or his craziness, did he actually sacrifice his wife and his child as well? Like if that was the case, then it would kind of fall under the a department of he is clinically completely crazy. That's why he did this. Like I could act, even though the thing that he did was bad, I could even at least say that, yeah. But I do remember one of the scenes, which I don't remember, I don't know if you guys remember that part, is where I'm pretty sure you remember the part where what was his name? Oh my god, the main character's name, Edward, wasn't it? Yeah. I'm sorry, please forgive me. There's so many animes, I always mix up the names. Edward, there's a scene where he confronts him, kind of goes, kind of grabs him by the collar, and he says, like, what did you do? Like when he sees the dog, what did you do? Like, did you do what I think you did? And there's a section where his demeanor completely changes, his eyes completely changes. Before that he was acting very innocent, and then there's like immense shift of his character, and he says like, oh, so you realized what I did. You're a pesky little character, person, aren't you? Something like that he says, I remember. And which shows obviously he was well in his mind. He was not crazy. He knew what he was doing. This scene kind of says that he knew what he was doing. He was very much aware what he was doing, and even not only now, even during his wife's time, he also did the same thing. So he was well aware. It's just that he is psychotic. There's no what can I say? Like it's not that he's clinically crazy, that type of a person, character. No, it's not like that. He did this knowing everything, which obviously makes him even more worse as a character, more bad as a character, more evil. So yeah, like a person who could sacrifice their family for his own whatever, the thing that he his alchemist, whatever he did, that's irredeemable. He can never ever he's the worst of the worst. So yeah, I feel like the way he went away, he was killed, obviously, if you remember. I think that was too lenient of a end that he got. I would have loved if he actually suffered forever for the rest of his life, actually realizing little by little the sins that he has done, and something like that. But he just died, which is something that I feel like is like an easy way of him just escaping. But anyways, so there you go. Show Tucker, top top of the list. Shinji, oh boy, there'll be a lot of characters who will be top of the list, I think. All right, here we go. Ultimate Filth as well. Now I'm pretty sure a lot of people might disagree a little bit. People might say like, oh, he's not Ultimate Filth, he could be in the trash position, but personally I hate this guy, personally. Yeah, but first of all, the main reason, there's a lot of reasons that I don't like him, but the main reason why he's not in the trash tier but the Ultimate Filth tier is because the things that he did to Sakura. That's the main reason. All the other reasons why he's bad is just multiple reasons why he's bad. Number one, he is he's one of those characters who can do nothing on their own, and acts all high and mighty, and people who are helping him, he doesn't even look at them as humans. mistreats them, things like he's like a god complex, that type of a thing. He is like, obsessively envious of other people, like so many like multiple reasons that you can like say why this guy is bad. So all that aside, the reason why he's on top is because of his, look at what he did to Sakura. That completely brings him up like a complete tier on top. That is something that I don't think anyone will be able to forgive him for, and he deserves the worst of the worst just because of that. Like all the other reasons that I said, if he did nothing to Sakura, if he had all those characters, I would have probably put him on the trash tier. But since we know what happened, and like all the stuff that he did, that completely like brings him up onto the ultimate filth list. And yeah, again, he is a character who is irredeemable. I like not only his like what he did to Sakura, but all the other reasons combined, like he's just bad. He's one of the worst characters, and I'm glad that he gets what he deserves in all the routes. All the routes he dies a horrible death. No, wait. Oh no! Oh my god! Wait, he was alive in the Heavensfield route, wasn't he? No, was it? No. That sorry, the Unlimited Blade Works route. He was alive, I think. Yeah, or am I wrong? Yeah, obviously Heavensfield, Sakura himself killed him. Herself killed him. Fate route. What happened in the Fate route to him? I don't remember. It's been so long. Oh boy. I don't remember what happened to him in the Fate route, but the Unlimited Blade Works, I think he was alive. Yeah, I do remember that scene where Sakura was like visiting him in the hospital, like bringing him stuff, food. Yeah. Oh boy. Well, never mind. Like whatever. Like I like he deserves the worst of the worst, and yeah, that's why ultimate filth list. All right, the next one. This guy, what's his name? Sugo or something? I forgot his name. Sword Art Online, this guy. Okay, obviously. Yeah, definitely ultimate filth list. Oh boy, like I'm pretty sure everyone knows him. Is again one of those infamous characters, and the things that he did in Alfenheim Online, and like not only the whole manipulate like like taking an advantage of someone's condition to like to his advantage. Not only that, the whole thing that he did to Azuna, but also himself being the actual reason for Azuna's condition, that as well. Like, and obviously his main motivations, his filthy character, and everything included. And even after he was beaten up by Kirito, he still tried to come back. And like harm Kirito and Asuna as well. So all that included, yeah, he definitely deserves to be there. Oh, I should have included another character here. I forgot. That guy is the same from Sword Art Online. Damn, Sword Art Online has so many so many bad characters. Like I'm talking about that guy, like the one in season 2, the one who was Death Gun, that kid. He should have also been here, oh boy, I should have included him. Anyways, but yeah, you can understand what I'm saying. This guy Sugo, obviously all the things that he did, manipulation being the actual reason of everything. Not only that, actually him being the reason for so many people being trapped in the game as well, doing the research that they were doing on them, everything included. Yeah, he deserves to actually rot in prison. I don't know what happened to him. I think he was arrested, wasn't he? I think so. Yeah. And yeah, he deserves it. He definitely deserves it. And there you go, ultimate filth as well. All right. Rachel from Tower of God. Okay, so I would like to put her in. I would have put her on top, but no, that's a bit too harsh. I'll put her in the trash tier, because the thing about this girl was comparing her to the 3 on top, Sho Tucker, Shinji, and Sugo guy from Sword Art Online. She deserves a little bit more leniency, because like the thing that she did was obviously not good. Like the thing that she did here, obviously as we remember, she actually manipulated, yeah, manipulated, you could say, yeah, manipulated. She actually manipulated Bam. I think that was the name of the main character. He manipulated him, and he actually played on his emotions and used him to, like, for the opportunity to go on top of the tower. And when she realized that, oh boy, like, like, I've gotten almost everything that I could squeeze out of him, let's just push him out. That's what she did. So the thing that is so bad about her is that, like, I've not read the manga, or manhwas, like, the Korean manga, I think, yeah, I've not read that, so I can't say what is her actual motivations for and whatnot. But as far as I could understand from the anime itself, she was basically a miserable character. She's one of those characters who just loves to hang out with people who are inferior than her, and she wants to be needed, by those characters. And as long as she's needed by them, she's very good to them. But then when she realizes that the person that actually needed her is the one who's kind of going up, and she's the one who's needing that person, like, the thing hits her. She becomes this, like, her personality, her ugly personality starts coming up. And it's crazy how calm and like, calculatingly she actually does her stuff. I've never seen her actually, which is kind of very unnerving, never seen her actually kind of show her ugly nature. Even when she pushed out Balm, the way she did that was so unnervingly weird. Like, it didn't seem she felt any kind of like, like, guilt in doing that. That was another thing, lack of the feeling of guilt. Like, there's quite a few things that really unnerved me about her when that final episode came. At first I was shocked. I was like, what the hell happened here? And then after, like, like, I think the next episode as well, after they showed what, like, her main motivations kind of was and all that, I was like, oh my god, this girl is, yeah, she's also kind of like a, I wouldn't call her psychopath, but kind of on that path of a psychopath. So yeah, that's basically her. So she basically wants to hang out with people who would, like, who would actually need her. When Bam actually needed her, she was there. And when she realized that, oh, like, he doesn't need me anymore, and I'm the one who needs him, he squeezed out everything that she could from him and just betrayed him. So yeah, like, that's Rachel, I think. Now, like I said, all I've seen is the anime. I've not read the like, original source material, the Korean manga, and I don't know what happens there, if they actually go deeper into her character, or maybe there is something that actually redeems her character. I have no idea if something like that happens or not, or is she still like this. That's why everything that I talked about was from my knowledge from the anime. There you go. So yeah, that's Rachel in the trash tier. All right, this lady, the lady in the grave of the fireflies, the aunt or whatever she was, of the main characters. Yep, trash. Nah, I could not put her in redeemable, because what she did, it was not redeemable. No, I was thinking, like, like, whether I should put her in the trash or maybe no. She deserves to be here, because as far as I can remember, in the grave of fireflies, there's quite a few things that she did. I do feel bad about her for a few situations. Obviously, like, taking care of the main characters and everything. And, like, especially in that type of situation, when the wars were happening and everything, like that, I can kind of sympathize with her. But what she did in response to that was something that I don't think deserves forgiveness. First of all, I think I remember her actually telling the kid, the younger kid, about their mother's death or something like that, which the older brother was very much, like, trying to hide from her. So that's one of the most unforgivable thing that she did. Another thing that she did is she kind of, like, had this whole favoritism thing, like, she, like, did, like, she did not look after the what's the name, the main characters that much, but gave like, priority to her own kids, which obviously, like I said, that's something I think that's basic human emotions. But like kind of preferring your own child. But even without that, the things that she did, she kind of mistreated them, which is obviously not okay at all. And the biggest thing that she did was she actually let them go. That's one of the biggest, I think, bad thing that she did. She when they left the house, she was like, okay, go ahead. That's just it. And I think that was another one of those things that she should not have done, because the situation there was not good, and leaving these two kids alone in the outside world at that moment, at that time, where they had nothing, like, how they would even survive, they don't know. Like, that was obviously unforgivable, and we know what happened because of that. Both of them ultimately, like, died, and all could have been prevented if this lady at that moment said something like, oh, where will you go, like in this situation, don't go, stay with us. If that's what she said, like, I don't think anything like. But I guess how could she even see the future, like, but no, you know what, nah, I'm trying to find something good in her, but I cannot, like I said, like, she should have realized that just letting them go like that in that situation, they would have ended up dying by the end of it. So she pretty much she pretty much knew what she did, and even though she knew it, she actually let them go in that situation. And yeah, there you go, trash tier. Okay, Cube. Oh boy, this little squirt. You know what? I was thinking about putting Cube in the ultimate filth tier, but no, he deserves in the trash tier. The reason why is because all the characters in the top tier did the stuff knowing what they were doing. The thing about Cube is Cube lacks any kind of human emotions. That's the biggest weird, like, situation about Cube. So about Cube, he did manipulate everyone, tell lies about the whole magical girl thing. Did not, like, it's like reading half of the like, conditions, and there was like small little things written underneath which he completely skipped while giving the terms of service. That's basically what he did. Cube told all the good juicy parts, like, oh, you're going to become a magical girl, you'll be, you'll get one of your wishes will come true, you'll fight witches, this and that, all that stuff, like, all these things, like the good parts, he said. He never mentioned about what's going to happen after they became the magical girl, the whole like, darkening of the soul gems, all that stuff, and what's the ultimate result of a magical girl, what they become by the end of it. None of that he said. Like that's what he did. And not only that, like, the most creepy thing about this thing is, like, since it lacks human empathy, emotions, anything, it actually doesn't realize what wrong he did. Cube. Like, that's the thing, like, which is so unnerving about this little thing. Like, it lacks any human emotions, any empathy. So when confronted with why did you do this, Cube was like, oh, I think, like, I think he said something like, oh, I thought it was like, you guys would be happy about this, or something like that is said. Like, like, and the basic lack of human understanding, empathy that he has, and he treats all the other, like, humans as like replenishable resources or whatever. That's how, that's very unnerving. And just like, because he lacks these emotions, that's why I did not put him in the ultimate filth list. If he had this emotion and still did it, he would have been in the ultimate filth. But since he lacks it, that's why I put him in the trash tier. And obviously whatever he did is definitely not forgivable, but at the same time, I do think that, like, him lacking human emotions was probably one of the biggest reasons why Cube turned out to be something like this. And the thing about Cube is, I wouldn't call him being hated, but he's unnerving and very bad, what can I say, like very uncomfortable, like the way he kind of talks in like a monotone voice, and his face never changes, and then, like like all the things that he did, like creepy. That's basically him. There you go, trash tier. All right, this girl, this lady, what was her name? Let me check. What was her name? This is the girl from lady from Erased, the mother of the main character. Okay, I think her name was Akemi or something like that. Yeah. Anyways, this lady, the lady who was the mother of the main girl. Oh, this is a tough one. Oh boy. What should I? I would put her in the ultimate filth list. The reason is because, like, this lady here, I put her in the, why I put her in the trash and her in the ultimate filth list, where, like, they kind of did basically almost the same thing. This lady, she was the aunt or whatever. That's number one. Number two, she actually did not abuse them. This lady, however, she's their mom. She's the actual mother of the kid. Not only that, she abused her. So all that, like included, I'm putting her in the ultimate filth list. Now, there's one thing that I do kind of feel bad for her. Like, her own story, like, what she went through was also kind of sad. Like, the whole, her husband, like, what happened. I don't remember that much, but I think something like he abused her, and, like, that's why by the end of it, she divorced him and decided to, like, raise the girl on her own. But all that included, like, and that's one thing I kind of feel bad for her, but that doesn't give her the right to abuse her own child. I think that's why ultimate filth, she's definitely deserving of that. Like child neglect, like, neglecting, abusing, like being overly controlled, like kind of controlling her child, all those things that she did, like that makes her bad, like, and she deserves the top tier here. So there you go. Like, the fact that she's her actual mom is the one thing that even makes this situation even worse. So there you go. She doesn't deserve, like I think by the end of it, did she get arrested? I don't remember what happened to her by the end of it, Erased. But yeah, like that's why, like, in the ultimate filth list. So there you go. Like, what she went through doesn't excuse what she did to her child. Like I said, I do feel bad for her own situation, but that does not excuse or forgive what she did to her own child. Her child, who was very small at that time, very young, like, taking out her own frustrations on, it's definitely not what she deserved, not what anyone deserves. So there you go, ultimate filth. All right, the next one. Okay, Deku. Now, here's the thing about Deku. I would put him in the not so bad, thing, because, like I said, like, I know, like, a lot of people don't like Deku, and I can kind of, like, realize why, because obviously he has this whole, like, I don't know, like, it's kind of a, like, like a shonen character, main character type of personality, like, it's like and the whole friendship power or whatever, all these things, there is a few of it in My Hero Academia. But, like, the thing here that we should think about is that is basically the, like, like, the whole formula of shonen shows, most of the shonen shows. I don't think that's what could make him as a, like, he's just one character in that show. And obviously, compared to all the characters in this list, yeah, Deku is a saint. So there you go. Obviously not as bad. Like, he's a I would say, like, people who don't like him is, like, basically because of that. And I think that mainly falls in the, like, as the fault of the genre. If Deku was a character in, I don't know, where, like, like, let's think of a show like Hunter x Hunter, I think he would have been a lot different. if he was, like, a main character in Like let's take another show, for example, Vinland Saga or something, like Deku as like one of the main characters. He would have been a lot different. So that's why, like, think about it. It's not his fault. It's basically the genre's fault. Shonen genre. That shonen genre itself brings out a lot of, like, weird, like, unimaginable scenario what could never happen, like, and they kind of, like, there's a lot of situations that they kind of just, they, like, do the whole thing about, like, oh, friendship, like willpower, power, whatever, all those things that they do. So that's it. And other than that, I don't think Deku is basically, yeah, he's just that one shonen kid, who just wants to be the best and doesn't give up, that type of a character. And there you go. That's why not as bad. And like I said, if you compare him to all the characters here, yeah, like I said, he's just a saint. He's a saint in comparing to all these characters. So that's why I kept the not as bad category, for Deku. And I think another character here, yeah. Okay, the next one, this girl, oh, what's her name, the girl from Bloom Into You. Okay, let me check. What's her? Chie Yuzuki from Bloom Into You. Bloom Into You, or the Japanese name Yagata Kimi ni Naru, I think. Yeah. She, like, it's been a while I've watched the show, so I kind of forgot. So I kind of went to her wiki and kind of checked it out again, and I do remember a few bits and portions again. Okay, this is a tough one. Like, the thing about this character is what she did is definitely not forgivable. That's why I cannot put him in the redeemable tier, but at the same time, putting her in the trash tier feels a little bit too harsh, so I don't know. That's why I'm kind of struggling here. Like, what she did, as like I said, I forgot most of the things. That's why I went to the wiki again. I kind of checked and it kind of came back. Her situation was, you know what, let me put her in the lower end of the trash tier, yeah, like, the thing that she did was that she came, like, went into a relationship with one of the girls, one of the main girls there, not main, but one of the main supporting characters. And like, they dated for, like, like the first section, but then she just broke up because she was like, oh, girl relationship doesn't work, it's weird. And she just, as you could say, just used her for that brief amount of time and just went away. And, like, that's the type of thing that she did. That's why I'm saying that the thing that she did was not forgivable. That's why I cannot put her in the redeemable category. But at the same time, comparing her to Cube, Rachel, and this lady, like, where these three kind of, like, like, did so many messed up stuff, like, I don't think that's why I'm saying, like, putting her in the trash tier along with them feels a little bit excessive. So I'm going to put her in the lower end of the trash tier. She's not redeemable. What she did is definitely not forgivable. Like, she emotionally scarred someone, you could say, and just used her, and just was like, like, and just broke up just like that, and that kind of a thing. So yeah, trash tier, the lower end, I'm going to put her. All right, mine. Oh god. Well, obviously everyone knows where she deserves to be. I'll put her over here. Nah, equally bad. She's equally bad to everyone, I think. So yeah, anyways, like, wherever, here, yeah. So there you go. Mine, I'm pretty sure everyone knows mine from Shield Hero. What she did, the first thing that is so unnerving about her is she's annoying. She's so annoying that it brings, like, like, hate is too much of a, like, light word to use for her. Not only that, she manipulated, almost everyone in the show. She used them for her own, like, bad deeds. She tried to kill multiple of characters, ultimately failing. However, she tried to kill her own sister, and not only that, she, yeah, these are the things that she did, lying, manipulation, accusing someone, of which is now for me, obviously, if you realize, trying to kill, now for me, obviously, trying to kill her sister, and everything. She did everything. If you think about it. So yeah, she definitely deserves the ultimate filth tier. I have to say, the way they kind of the way her story ended, not her story, but her situation ended, where they ended up changing her name. I think that was quite a good way of resolving that issue, because obviously Naofumi doesn't feel good about just executing her. She did a lot of bad things, but all in all, those were unsuccessful. She, if you think about it in that way, all she did was she attempted murder. She did not kill anyone, and obviously that does not lessen her wrongdoings. I'm not saying that, but just killing her in front of everyone like that, I felt like, if Naofumi took that step, Naofumi probably himself would have changed. His heart, inside his heart would have changed, and he would have been a lot more, he would have started walking a path that he should not, I think so. So I don't care about mine, but I cared about Naofumi at that situation. That's why Naofumi choosing to change her name, I feel like that's an appropriate way of publicly shaming her for the rest of her life. Whenever anyone will call him, let's just call. So yeah, and that, I think that she's going to suffer a lot because of that. So I think that was a good way to resolve her whole situation. So there you go, mine ultimate filth. All right, this girl, what's her name from Silent Voice? Just a second. Nauka, is that her name? Yeah, Nauka. Now, thing about this girl is, I'm going to put her in the redeemable category, the first character in the redeemable category. So, alright, the thing that she did was obviously not correct, the whole bullying situation and everything that she did. And there was a little bit of, I would say, jealousy as well, because, the main character, for the main, she liked the main character. So all that included and everything, and just her being a kid at that moment, kids are bad, kids are brutal, kids who are not properly guided, they go towards a wrong direction, and she was one of those kids. Not only her, but the main character was also one of those kids. The main character realized his wrongdoings. She did not, however, by the end of it. But why I put her in the redeemable category is because she's young. What she did obviously is not something that she should have done, but by the end of it, I do remember in the Silent Voice, she was making an active effort to change. And I think obviously her nasty attitude, I think it will kind of persist, but she will, I think, become a lot more better as a person after what everything happened in the movie. That's why I've put her in the redeemable category. And you know what, she's not the character that I don't like in the Silent Voice. There's another girl, if you remember, the girl with the glasses on. I actually hate her more than this girl. No, why the reason why, her playing the victim, I do remember, she was a character, the glasses girl, you remember that girl? She was a character who played the victim all the time. She bullied them, she bullied the main girl. But not only that, when she was confronted with it and everything, she played the victim, started crying. That's one thing that infuriated me so much. I don't know why, That's why, in my opinion, I feel like she is a lot worse than her. This girl, I forgot all of their names. This black-haired girl, like, the glasses girl is a lot worse than her, I think, in my opinion. Also, she's also a kid. She's also, hopefully, I think she'll also learn her mistakes. So even if she was here, I would have also probably put her in the redeemable category. But yeah, like, here, this is the thing, like, the main character, he was also the same as these characters, this girl, the other girl, all the other characters that bullied the main girl. So why is he not here? Because he actually changed, he actively changed. In the end, he actually, like, became a good person and saved the girl. So that's why he's not here in the list. That's what I'm trying to say, like, the thing that happened with the main character is he realized his mistake a lot earlier than these, like, this girl and the other one. And by the end of the movie, we could kind of see that they are trying to change. They are trying to actively kind of like, change on their bad habit, like, their bad personality and everything, and like, in the whole bullying situation. So yeah, I feel like all people must be given a second chance, so there you go. That's why redeemable. All right, this girl, what's her name? Oh boy, from Akame ga Kill. Seiryu. Yeah, I think that was her name. Seiryu from Akame ga Kill. Oh boy, this girl. Oh, this is a. I'll have to put her in the ultimate filth list because she's twisted. All that I remember of her is, number one, I think she killed one of the main girls, the scissors girl, I think. And not only that, she has like a weird twisted sense of justice, where she just, like, whatever she thinks she deems good is good, whatever she deems not good and evil is evil. She's so egotistical, if you think of it in that way. Like, her own sense of justice, she only looks, like, at people like that. Whatever people, like, she thinks are bad deserves to die. Whatever people she thinks that is good, she just, like, is just so like, happy with them, and whatever, she just worships them or something. That type of a character, that is such a psychotic type of personality. Like, imagine being unable to empathize with people, being unable to look at other people and trying to find out whether they're good or bad. Like, she just kind of puts a label on the characters, like, oh, bad person must die, oh, good person must worship, that type of a thing. That's completely, like, like, psychotic. And I do remember her, like, her, like, there's multiple situations when we kind of realize that she's crazy. She's completely crazy. Her twisted sense of justice is the main thing that makes her in like, boosts her up to this list. Because characters who understand that they're doing something wrong, I think they're a lot better than characters who think that, oh, they're doing the world a service, but actually, like, doing so many evil things at the same time. So yeah, she lacks like, like, the realization that I'm doing something wrong. So there you go, ultimate filth. Okay, light. Oh boy, okay, light, I have to say, oh boy, it's like the thing about light is, I feel like there's like a you know what, he deserves to be in the top list, in the ultimate filth list. But the thing about him, I feel like that was the main thing about light. His charisma, if that's what you call it, is something that actually made people like him as a character, I feel like. Okay, I'm gonna put him in the ultimate filth list because what he did obviously was just so bad, but the whole, like, I feel like actually seeing the story through his eyes was the main reason why people, there's a lot of people who love light, light Yagami. I'm pretty sure they also know what he did was wrong, but still they like them. Like, seeing the story from his point of view and his intelligence and everything, I feel like that's probably what makes people like him so much, even though he did one of the most the worst things that someone could ever do, you know. Like he took justice in his own hand. He tried to become god, you know. That's what he did. And whoever people he deems worthy, you know, will live, and otherwise everyone will die. And like, you know, he became the sense of justice himself, just playing, like, you know, this thing. And not only that, he was intelligent. That's what made him go as far as he went, and, like, you know, made the whole thing escalate so bad. And if he was not intelligent, he was like one of those like normal people, you know, like L would have caught him so easily. But since he was so strong, like not strong but witty, you know, like that's basically Death Note, you know, the whole battle of wits and everything. So that's why ultimate filth, because what he did was obviously so wrong if you look at it from a moral point of view. That's what I'm doing here, you know. Like, I'm not talking about people's charisma, whether, like, you know, that villain is good or bad, you know. Like, even if a villain is bad, you know, even if a villain did one of the most despicable thing, you know, as a villain, even from a villain's point of view, they might be good. I think Light kind of falls in that category. He did one of the worst things, obviously, we all know that. But as a villain, he's more one of the best villains, if you think of it in that way. That's why this list is based on the morality, you know. I'm not talking about characters who are good villains, you know. Like, based on morality, obviously he deserves to be in the ultimate filth list. But at the same time, I feel like if there was like a good villains tier list, he would have probably be on the top, you know, because he's a good villain, you know. As a villain, he's good. Like, he does, like, you know, play his role as a villain perfectly. That's why he's a good villain. So there you go. From the moral point of view, obviously ultimate filth. Yeah, like the whole Death Note. And obviously one of the best voice actors, my most favorite voice acted him, Mamoru Miyano. So it's kind of, you know, like biased towards that as well. Anyways, but yeah, morally ultimate filth. There you go. Oh, this guy, what's his name? I think Gaku was his name, wasn't it? From Erased? I think so. Yeah, Gaku. So, oh boy. Okay, yeah, obviously ultimate filth, because yeah, he was a psychopathic killer, and he was the main villain, the main murderer, you could say. And yeah, obviously the things that he did, and, you know, like him killing others and playing, like, you know, kind of pinning the blame on someone else, and, you know, like the whole thing that he did, obviously it deserves no mercy. Like, I don't have much to talk about him, because majority of the show we barely got to see him, you know. And by the end of it, when we realize he's the main, like, you know, bad guy, you know, he just, you know, like he kind of showed his motivations and everything. And then in the later part, when, you know, like the main character comes out from coma, there's a very interesting section that kind of plays out, where we realize he actually waited for him. Like, god damn, like, you know, imagine your murderer waiting for you to wake up from the coma. Damn, that's scary. So yeah, all that part like did happen. So we have barely much to talk about him, because most of his identity and everything was kept in secret, you know, up until the final climax. But from what we got to see of him, obviously he's very calculated. He's like a psychopathic, like, you know, killer, and the things that he did deserves no mercy. So there you go, ultimate filth. Like, and the thing is that he was a teacher. The teacher is supposed to guide the kids, you know, kind of guide them towards the future, you know, like their future, a good future, and teach them. And yeah, this is what he did. So there you go. All right, this girl, this lady from Assassination Classroom, Nagisa's mom, I would put her in the redeemable category. Reason why is because whatever she did, obviously she did a lot of wrong. The thing that she did is she tried to control Nagisa, you know, made him cross-dress, just because she herself, like, you know, like had her own, like, you know, grievances from her childhood. She tried to put those on her child, you know. And like, she wanted to make Nagisa live the life that she never lived. That's why she tried to make him cross this and everything. And imagine, she was also, very disappointed when, I think, that section where we get to know that she was disappointed that Nagisa was a boy. That's why she tried to make him cross dress or something, and kept his hair long and all. So all of that is despicable. Like, imagine your own parent trying to, like, pin. I guess this is very, like, even in real life this does happen. There's a lot of parents who become so obsessed in, like, making their child become the person that they never were able to become, is that they disregard whatever the child wants. That's the thing. This is very realistic in my opinion. Obviously the whole cross-dressing section, I think that was a bit kind of, like, too far. But other than that, the whole situation is very, like, like, realistic. And she's just one of those parents who were like, oh, I wasn't able to do something in my life, my child will. And she came to a point that she was completely, like, going crazy. That was the point that she was at. And I feel like she could have, like, like, if she actually went to, like, a mental, like, like, a doctor or something, she would have been, hopefully she would have been a lot better. But she kind of went into that crazy territory. But by the end, why I put her in the redeemable category is, by the end we can see that she will, try to change herself. Like I said, whatever she did was obviously not okay, but everyone deserves a second chance. And she's only human. She did a lot of mistakes, and if she is able to make amends to that and, like, become a better person, yeah, I think that's all well and good. And her past sins will obviously not go away. Whatever she did, all the bad things that she did, obviously not go away, but hopefully she becomes a better person after that. So that's why redeemable category. This guy, what's his name? I think Makoto, wasn't it? Makoto, yeah. Oh my god. Well, ultimate filth. This guy is bad. This is one of the worst characters. I don't know how he was able to become a main protagonist. Now, one thing I would like you guys to know, I've actually not watched School Days. Neither have I played the novel, but I do know what happens. Obviously School Days is infamous for its ending. And I got to know that, like, this is the type of, when I started anime, I think it was in 2000, the final, like, December or November, sometime like that, in 2012, that I started watching anime. Like, School Days came out a lot before that, and at that moment School Day was quite, I wouldn't say popular, but infamous, and that's why it kind of came to my ears. And like I said, I play visual novels. So I was like, what happens in the visual novel? And I realized something similar kind of happens to the visual novel's bad end, but in the visual novel he does get a good end, if you think of it in a good way, like a lot better than the way it ended in the manga and the anime. I wouldn't spoil. I don't even know if I should spoil. No, I shouldn't spoil it. But yeah, something very bad happens, which, that's why I would actually, if I've not watched School Days, I would actually tell you guys to not watch it, because School Days is a show that I don't think anyone should watch. So that's why I've not watched it itself, but I do know what happens. So that's why I kind of tried to check out the visual novel, and I kind of did a little bit research on it and saw if the same thing happens. The thing about visual novels is, in visual novels there's like a good end, a bad end, a normal end, all these things, So what happens in the bad end is either someone dies or something very bad happens. That's what happens. So the anime's end, I think, and the manga's end as well, is the bad end. There is a good end, however, in the visual novel. So you must obviously think that, oh, maybe in the good end, it's not that bad. I would like to say that I think even in the good end, he does get I wouldn't say happy ending, but a decent enough ending. But at the same time, the things that he did before that is not forgivable at all. This guy is crazy, as a main protagonist, he's like one of those crazy people. And I won't say what he does, but He's bad. He's very bad. He's like, like, oh my god, like he's kind of like this guy, if you know what I mean, this Sugo guy, like what he tried to do, especially in the end, the whole thing with Azuna. This guy also does the same thing, but in a weird enough way where the girls actually become yanderes by the end of it. If you know what I'm trying to say, like that's what he does. Oh my god, like it's a weird one, like even the girls are crazy in that show, like. So yeah, like obviously Ultimate Phil, he's like the worst character I've ever seen. Even though I've not read the manga or saw the anime or read the visual novel, like I said, I did my research on him. He's trash. He's one of the worst characters that, like, I don't know how someone can make him the main character. He's supposed to be one of the villains, I think. So that's basically what he is, And not only that, the girls becomes yandere, and like, like actually, like in the bad end, I think he actually gets what he deserves by the end. I'm not trying to spoil it, but yes, like the girls do something to him, if you know what I mean. And I feel like he got what he deserves by the end in the bad ending. So yeah, like he deserves to be in prison, this guy, So Ultimate Filth, there you go. God damn. All right, the next one, from Mieruko-chan, Zen's mom. Oh my god. Oh, this is another character. Wow, so many worse characters in this show. Ultimate Filth. God damn, this is another character who just, oh, like she again, like, she's one of those parents, like, tries to make the, like, their child do something that they were never able to do, and have some unexpected, like, like some crazy expectations of them. And if they are not able to do something, they become overly violent, overly, like that type of a thing. Like, and she takes that to an extreme, this lady. Why Nagisa's mom is in the redeemable category and why she is in the Ultimate Filth category? Because she's irredeemable. Even after death, she keeps haunting her child. And not only that, the thing that she did before, which is, should I say it here? It's kind of considered as a spoiler, but I guess this whole video is considered spoiler because we're talking about characters we hate. So yeah, like, I'm pretty sure everyone knows about these characters who are watching this video. So what she does is, like, obviously her whole, like, killing the cat situation. And not only that, even after that, trying to manipulate her child, and even after her death, trying to, like, be a burden on her child. Obviously, Ultimate Filth. Yeah, I don't think she could have ever redeemed herself. She went far too into the deep, until the other end. I don't think she could have been brought back. And yeah, there you go. This guy, I forgot his name. This guy, the military guy. Oh god, he's trash. He's in the trash category. This guy he's another type of a character, he's like another weird specimen. This guy, the whole thing, like, she always, like, seeing him always made me feel kind of weirded out and creepy. His whole thing about, oh, I'm the daddy of the family, like I like his whole situation. What was that? Like that whole thing about him being like the dad of the family or whatever, and like, I expect stuff from you. You should give those stuff to me, and you should respect me, whatever, all those things, like, like just forcefully shoving down the whole family thing, like, I'm your dad, like, I deserve respect and I deserve everything, just shoving it down your throat. That thing was so uncomfortable and weird. This guy himself is so weird, like the way he does those things. And I feel like, I think people like this does exist. I've not seen any of them, but I feel like they do exist, who are just this type of a person, just manipulate someone, into this type of, like, a weird, like, emotional manipulation. of, oh, I love you guys, so I think I deserve something for that. That type of an attitude. That was basically him. And he took it too far, where he basically just abused the people who were under him. And yeah, just, he was bad. He was one of those very bad characters. And yeah, he got what he deserved by the end of it. By the end of it, he becomes completely crazy. So yeah, he got what he deserved. And yeah, he deserves to be in the trash category, obviously. I'll put her here. There you go. And I'll put, yeah. All right. This character, this girl, what was her name? I think that was a girl, wasn't? Yeah, I think she was a girl. From Carol and Tuesday, she was Sibel. Yeah, there you go. That was what her name was. Oh my God. She was that person, that crazy psycho. Oh God. Yeah, trash. So, oh boy, she was that over. I wouldn't call her. Yeah, she was not manipulative, but she was just that. I would call her a yandere, if you think about it like that, because she had this weird expectation of Tuesday, about, oh, I deserve all the love that I can get from her. That type of a thing, overly just throwing herself on top of her, and thinking as if, oh, she's the only one who should be with me, she should not interact with anyone else. Try to manipulate her, guilt tripping her about, oh, make a group with me, ditch Carol, and make a group with me. I think that was her whole situation. Yeah. And this, this emotionally manipulating, trying to manipulate others. And not only that, even when by the end of it she was rejected, she tried to harm her. And I think she did harm her, didn't she? I think Tuesday burnt her hand or something like that happened. Yeah. So yeah, there you go. Trash. It's complete trash. Any person who does stuff like this deserves to be in that category, where just disregarding anyone else, and just having this crazy obsession with Tuesday. It was so bad. So she was trash. Oh boy. So yeah. All right. One thing I kind of forgot to mention before as well. These two shows, Bloom Into You, that is Yagate Kimi ni Naru, and Carol and Tuesday, are one of two of the most underrated shows that I've seen. Okay, wait a minute. Should I talk about this later on? Okay, I'll talk about this later on. After the tier ends, I'll talk about that. First, let's end the tier first. Okay, Yuki Teru. Not as bad category. Now, I'm pretty sure why people, I know the reason why people hate him is because he has this weird type of a personality of where he's so easily, easily manipulated. Yeah, doesn't realize, he's overly just dumb. There's so many situations in Future Diary where he does weird stuff, even after going through so much situations, he doesn't learn. And there's so many situations that could have been resolved a lot better if he just got his thing together, but he never did. But all of these bad things which make us feel as if, oh, he's one of the worst characters. I guess, yeah, you could say she is one of the hated characters, but because I'm kind of making this tier based on morality and everything, the whole Future Diary, obviously, you cannot think about morality in that show, because people, it is just kill or be killed, that type of a situation. But as a character, Yukiteru, I would like to say that I feel like his personality was just like that. First of all, his age, he was quite young when all of this happened. So yeah, imagine just bumping into a situation, getting into a situation where someone say oh, kill or be killed, and people are just breathing down your neck and trying to get an opportunity to kill you, while you were just one of those nice kids who never swatted a fly before. Obviously, like, like people are going to act like, a lot of people I'm sure are going to act like Yukiteru, because like the situation in the anime itself is abnormal, where you have to kill someone or you will be killed. We should realize that before that, he was just one of those, like, quiet kids who just kept to himself. Like, just imagine any kind of character from any slice of life show, any quiet timid kid from any slice of life show, and put them in death, like in Future Diary, and I'm pretty sure they would act the same way Yuki did. So that's why I'm putting him in the not as bad category. He does kind of change by the end of it, as far as I can remember. I don't remember it properly, but I do remember in the end he did kind of change a little bit, and he kind of became a lot better as the series progresses. He still had that whiny attitude and everything, that was kind of annoying. But yeah, so I would call him annoying, and not, like in a moral standard point of view, yeah, he's not as bad. He's just one of those kids who just, like, got into this bad situation. And yeah, like, what's going to happen if you put like a normal kid from a slice of life show into one of these death games? Obviously he acted like that, and it was annoying kind of seeing how he tried to do all of these, like, like the things that he took so many turns, and he took so much time to actually get his thing together. So that was kind of annoying. And in the moral point of view, like I said, in Future Diary, you cannot think of situations in a moral point of view. The show itself is messed up, So there you go. Like, morality doesn't come in Future Diary. It's kill or be killed. If you think about morality in that show, you're going to get killed. The first thing you're going to happen is you're going to get killed. So yeah, in that way, obviously he did a lot of bad things. Everyone did in, like, in Mirai Nikki. But I feel like, yeah, he should be in the not as bad category. Another character I think I should have put here, who's in the same show, Future Diary, but I don't remember her name. But that lady with the huge face, who acted very harmless and everything at the beginning, but in the end, it turns out she was like this type of a twisted character. It's been so long I've watched Future Diary that I forgot everything. I do remember she creeped me out by the end of it. Like, the things that she did and everything was really weird, and I did kind of hate her by the end of it. So I think that character kind of deserves to be here. She would have probably been in the trash category if she was there. If you remember that old, not old lady, but that middle-aged lady who has this huge face, I think. Yeah. Something like that. I don't remember. Anyways. Alright, the final character, Zokin. Obviously. Yeah, Ultimate Filth. I was kind of thinking, should I put him in the trash or Ultimate Filth, but he also deserved to be an Ultimate Filth, because morally speaking, whatever happened in Heaven's Field was kind of what he did. The whole Sakura situation, not only that, Shinji's situation to a certain extent as well, is all because of this guy. And like, the thing about Zokin was, as a character, like, I don't know much about his past, but a little bit that I know, I feel like he just went crazy by the end of it. Like, his goals, trying to get to his goals and trying to become immortal in Heaven's Field, all that kind of twisted him. But obviously the things that he did was not okay, and I think a majority of the bad stuff that happened in Heaven's Field was definitely due to this guy, because Shinji's situation, Sakura's situation, all because of this guy. If he never did the whole crest worm thing, Sakura wouldn't have to suffer. If he kind of what do you call it, like, actually what's that word, brought up, yeah, if he actually brought up Shinji properly and scolded him for the bad things that he did and everything, Shinji probably would have been a decent person. And so that's why, if you think of it in that way, he was the elder person in that situation, Like kids grow up by looking at their surroundings, and if they do some bad things, obviously the elders should tell them that you should not do that. He was not that type of a character, and that's why Shinji, I guess you could say, ended up being the character he is. He was not beaten. I doubt he was ever like, he probably grew up like a pompous brat, and he got everything that he wanted, I guess you could say. Even though Zokin also didn't really care about him. Just remember, in the end he was like, you're trash, you don't have a like a little bit of like magic, just you're worthless. That was the attitude that he had, and I feel like that was also one of the reasons why Shinji had this twisted personality, where he tried to be better because he had this weird expectation put on him by Zokin, not only Zokin but by his family. And yeah, so ultimately, yeah, this guy, obviously, I guess he was the main reason a lot of things happened in Heaven's Field. And yeah, in the end, he just, yeah, he deserves to be in that, like, list. And his past and everything, like I said, I don't remember much about his past, but I think he also probably kind of had these grandiose goals, but by the end started walking down the wrong path just because of that, and yeah, lost his way. So there you go, that was my tier list. Okay, like what I was trying to say in the middle of the tier list is that these two, like this show Bloom Into You and this show Carol and Tuesday, these two are like one of the most underrated shows. Like whenever I hear about shoujo ai, or I wouldn't call it yuri, but shoujo ai, I would say, girl romance, that type of show. Whenever I hear about them, I always hear, like, on the top, I always see Citrus being on top. I don't really understand what people find good about Citrus. I watched it, I did not like it at all. But people do not talk about Bloom Into You at all. It baffles my mind why. Bloom Into You is one of the most unique shows I've ever seen. The characters are so interesting. Like they have like a weird type of a the characters, the main characters, they have like a very weird situation where their look on love has like a weird thing, like a weird twist in it. Like all the characters, as far as I can remember, in Bloom Into You were so interesting. Like each character had like a twist to them. Like I remember, I think the main girl, like the one of the main girls, had this type of a thing where she liked characters, but she wasn't able to like them from the bottom of their heart. Like she did not fall in love with anyone. And there was the other girl who, because she wasn't able to fall in love with anyone, she was able to fall in love with her. So if she falls in love with her, that's something, the day where she would actually break up with her, because she does not want to love someone who loves her. If you like, if you know what I mean, if you can understand what the whole situation is, it was so interesting. And the actual reason why she has this type of a personality was so interesting. I remember she said something like, if you start loving others, if someone starts loving you, no, if you start loving others, that's all good, like that's all well and good, but when that person starts loving you, they will start having some expectations of you, or something like that, she said, which is something that, like they will think that, oh, you should do something like this, and you're going to try to become the person that she wants you to be, which is something that she did not want, she did not like. That's why if someday, like, this girl starts liking her, she would break up with her. So as long as she doesn't like her, she would love her. And the thing about this girl was she wasn't able to fall in love with anyone. That's why she loved her so much. This type of a situation. It was so crazy. Like I don't know why, but it's so underrated, Bloom Into You. Like I don't know why, but I felt that whole psychological weird type of a situation was the reason why I loved that show so much. And yeah, I've not read the manga though. I think I should actually. I want to see like what happened by the end of it. But yeah, this show was fantastic. Bloom Into You, or Yagata Kimi ni Naru. I would never forget this show. So yeah, another show which is so underrated is Carol and Tuesday. I don't see anyone talking about this show, but this show was so good, you know. Like I loved this show so much, especially by the end. Like, you know, there's so many things that, you know, it did in such a great way. You know, like Carol and Tuesday, both of them, like, you know, becoming one of the best, you know, musicians and all. I don't remember much about the plot, but I do remember I had a really good time watching the show. And I kind of had like when I started the show and thought like, oh, will this be good or not? Who knows? That type of a, like, you know, attitude I had. But by the end of it, I ended up loving it so much. And not only that, the songs are so good in the show. So these two shows, if you've not watched it, this is just like a recommendation. You should definitely watch this. You know, Bloom Into You and Carol and Tuesday. These two, like, these are so underrated. I don't see people talking about these two. So there you go. That's just something that I wanted to say. So that's it, guys. My tier list for the most hated characters. Here you go. So yeah, like all of these are based on my opinion. If you have anything else to say, let me know in the comment section. And yeah, so thanks for watching, guys. This was my my tier list for the most hated characters in anime. So if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, or you haven't subscribed, and comment down below anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know, and I'll check them out. And like I said, if you have any other, like, you know, what do you call it, like any other thing that you want to tell me, any kind of, like, you know, extra what do you call it, like, you know, some kind of a, like, if you disagreed with something or something like that, let me know in the comment section and all that. And yeah, and this is all based on my opinion, you know. So there you go. There's a lot of characters that ended up being in the ultimate filth category. So yeah, so that's it. I'll be back with another, like, you know, tier list. I'll make another community post with the next theme, and you can nominate more characters. I'll probably put out the post tomorrow, hopefully, with the next theme. And yeah, comment down in that community post. Let me, like, you know, nominate a few other characters based on the theme, and I'll probably do another tier list within 1 or 2 weeks. It might take a little bit time, but yeah, I'll eventually do it. So that's it. So yeah, see you guys in the next video. Until then, goodbye and have a nice day.